working with some other big companies, trying to put together some mergers or deals of some sort?
What's up, guys? I'm back like I never left. In this video, we're going to be talking about Hyliion stock. What is the important lesson we can learn specifically? If you're somebody that got involved with options, I'm going to show you exactly what are the important lessons that you can learn from getting involved with Hyliion stock and what to expect for this stock for the upcoming weeks. I'm also going to go over SPAQ, which is another SPAC company. I'm going to go over exactly what are the right price point that we can use to get involved with it if you're interested. And I'm also going to do a quick stock market recap and what are the important economic reports that we need to pay attention to for tomorrow. So all this important information coming up. All right, before we get into the video, I appreciate if you guys can hit the like button if you are new to the channel. Subscribe if you have any questions or any comments. Make sure you drop in the comment section below. So as you can see over here today, we have a very phenomenal day. We went to the upside significantly, more than 1%. Yesterday, we talked about the stock market can definitely have a significant move either to the upside or to the downside. So today, we have a significant move that was relatively higher, and that is fantastic. This is mainly driven by the president recovering, and also the stimulus talks are continuing, and we can potentially see stimulus package being passed within the next few days or in the next few weeks. You never know what might happen, but they're still going to be talking tomorrow, so we'll see how things unfold. But as you can see over here, we got the entire stock market sector was going to the upside. That is great to see. The majority of the time it's usually like 4 or 5 companies that significantly drive up the stock market either to the upside or to the downside, but today we have all the major sectors, specifically the semiconductors are the ones that were leading the way to the upside, and they've been up a lot. As you can see, some of them up like 5%, 4%, 3% to the upside. So that is fantastic to see. So when we also go over the majority of the other company sectors that we mainly focus on, like Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, Amazon, they're relatively higher, more than 1%. And that is great also for them to recover, because the NASDAQ was the one that was selling off to the downside significantly when we have that nasty pullback, the 10% correction. We had a lot of sell-off that happened for these 3-4 companies. So now they're recovering. That is a great time to see. So we also closer to the election is only 4 weeks out, so we definitely need to pay attention to what is going to be, who's leading the polls. Some of the policies that the politicians have can definitely affect the stock market, so it depends upon who leads and who lacks and things like that can affect the stock market. So definitely pay attention to those news coming out pretty soon. Now let's talk about Hyliion stock. As you can see, the stock is down today another few percent to the downside. We gapped up significantly in the morning. It was up above $40, and that was fantastic. We were expecting a move like this to happen. We had Thomas Healy in New York ringing the stock market bell and getting more exposure, doing more interviews that could have potentially helped the company to get more exposure. He did multiple interviews, but that really did not affect the stock price to go higher. Unfortunately, even though the overall stock market bounced back to the upside, we have Hyliion stock selling down to the downside. So that was really bad to look at. And also, I had multiple people asking me questions about some of the options they got involved, and I wanted to explain to you guys exactly the dangers of options. I've seen a lot of people getting excited about options. They're saying options are rocket fuel. They can double, triple your profits. Yes, that is correct, but however, options are rocket fuels attached with a ticking time bomb. That basically means that if these option contracts does not go in the money, you can lose your entire account. You can blow up the rocket, blow up your account before you know it. You're basically lost all your money. So you have to be super careful when you're dealing with options. The majority of the time, these options, of course, they're going to go worthless. Statistically, that is the probability. Most of the options that you're buying right now, especially in the short term, they're eventually going to be worthless. So you need to understand the risk before you get involved. And one of the important things also when you're getting involved with options is to always have a profit target. If you look back to all the videos that I post on my channel, there are always profit targets where you're going to be able to lock in your profits. The most important thing I focus on is the risk area. The second thing is when you're going to take your profits. You have to have a point where you're going to be taking your profits. So When we talked about Hyliion over here when it was trading around $19, $20 when it had a huge sell-off, our first profit target was around over here, which was the high of around $33. When I was talking about the options, where the options to buy, I was talking about the $33 options. Why? Because that is the high that it made over here, and that is the potential area we're going to be taking our profit. And also, if you get out of this position, what is going to be the price point that you want to get involved in it after this move happens? You can get involved in if you decide to buy it over here when it dips. Your first profit target is over here, which is the high that it made, which is at $40. And if you want to get involved in it on this huge dip, or on this huge dip over here, your first profit target is going to be the high that it made over here, which is close to $60. That's why when you look at the videos that I posted, our first price prediction point was $60, which was the high that it made, approximately close to $60. So you have to have these profit target areas set up before you get involved in it, and also the risk areas, so you'll be able to lock in your profits and not just really hope, especially with options. As I mentioned, they're ticking time bombs. They're gonna blow up on your face before you know it. So definitely watch out for those times and what are the expiration dates and those profit targets, and take your profits quickly when you make money with options. Now let's look at a quick interview about Thomas Healy explaining exactly what his future plan is, some of the partnership that he made with other companies, and some of the ideas that we have for the future. Let's check it out.
The vehicles behind me, the one right behind me is a Freightliner, the one behind that is a Volvo. And so what Hyliion does is actually reinvents the powertrain of the vehicle, but then we take that and we put it into the existing trucks that are already out there. And so we're not reinventing the whole chassis and vehicle from the ground up. We're just doing the electric powertrain part of it, which allows us to work with the other existing truck OEMs and really revolutionize the part of the truck that needs new technology, right? And that's the powertrain. That's what consumes fuel.
Okay, congratulations to you, by the way. I mean, I would be remiss. I don't want to leave it to the end and then forget it. Thomas, you are, breaking world records on your own, just alone, because you are the youngest CEO of a publicly traded company at the age of 28. I mean, billions of dollars here at stake. You have a lot of risk that you can take, a lot of great ideas that you can put forth. What are your hopes for Hyliion in 18 to 24 months? What would you really like to see for this company now that you've broken ground with this in this way?
Yeah, so we've been fortunate to already start deploying our trucks with some key customers out there like Penske and Ryder, Ideal Lease, Wegmans, whose truck's behind me. And really the goal here is to keep on deploying this technology, as well as roll out our newest product, the Hypertruck ERX, which is that fully electric range extended vehicle off of natural gas. And so over the next 24 months here, we're going to be moving that product into commercialization and starting to deploy thousands of units out on the road. And really the goal here is, to get these trucks out on the highway, to get, emission reduction down, or to reduce emissions from the transportation sector. It is the #1 polluter right now. And so to the extent that our vehicles can have an impact on making this a cleaner planet, I mean, that's what's motivating to us. That's why we're doing this.
Those revenue projections to a regular person seem so incredibly exciting but aggressive. Are they realistic?
Yeah, so they are realistic, and one of the key things to note is that we're playing in the commercial vehicle space, right? And when you compare that to passenger car, when Tesla goes and sells a car to an individual, that person's going to drive that car for the next 5 to 7 years, versus in the commercial vehicle space, when you get a fleet to convert over to your technology and that becomes their truck of choice, well, they're going to buy hundreds or thousands of trucks, year after year, right? They're cycling out the old trucks in their fleet and reintroducing new trucks. And so that creates a terrific recurring revenue stream for Hyliion, and so it's a lot easier to scale to higher volume production in the commercial vehicle space, because you're going after key fleets who operate thousands of units, as opposed to trying to sell to an individual who might just buy one car from you.
Are you working on, you talked about some great partnerships with Penske and Ryder and Wegmans, and I know you're working on more, right? I mean, you're only as good as your last bat, right? Last at bat. So tell me about what you're working on now. Are you working with some other big companies trying to put together some mergers or deals of some sort?
We are. So one of the things that we've recently announced is Agility Global Logistics. It came in and placed a 1,000-unit pre-order with us for our Hypertruck technology. And so next year we'll start delivering trucks to Agility going into production in 2022. And then, we've been taken aback, honestly, by the excitement and interest that we've gotten from fleets just even since we've announced this transaction. And so we're working on deals with them. We're having great discussions. We found that, with all the news going on around electrification, fleets are really looking to dive into an extra layer of detail, which has been fantastic for us because our technology is able to offer them the lowest cost, the lowest emissions, and we're leveraging an infrastructure that's already built out there. And so when a fleet really starts diving into the details, they see that when they compare our technology to a plug-in truck or to a hydrogen fuel cell truck, it really is the easiest technology to implement into their fleet.
All right, and just the last thing, just give us something anecdotal so we can walk away with a little color, like we have a little more understanding of electric vehicles. How is it to drive these things? Is there, you got a water cooler fun fact for me you mentioned Tesla, you mentioned some of the other names. What is just so cool about this?
Yeah. So if you've ever had the chance to drive an electric car, that the driving experience is fantastic. You have instant torque, instant acceleration. Our partner's truck here, Wegmans, we were just chatting with them and they were saying that their drivers are telling us that truck performs better than any diesel truck in their fleet, right? And so, that's a fantastic thing from a driver's standpoint. You have, a vehicle that has more horsepower, more torque than before.
All right, so as you saw from the interview, the company definitely has more potential for the future. As I said, it's a long-term play. If you're somebody that's holding shares, also you have long-dated options like leaps. This is a great company to hold. Their revenue is going to be exponential within the next few years, so definitely watch out for this company. Now let's talk about SPAQ. So SPAQ, Spartan Energy, is going to be doing a merger with Fisker. This is also another electric vehicle company. They're going to be potentially doing the merger on October 28th. That's going to be when they're going to be finalizing their votes. And after, if the vote passes, they're going to be able to merge. The ticker symbol is going to be changing after October 28th. So definitely keep an eye on this company. If you want to get involved in it, of course, the risk area that we can definitely use is going to be the $12 area. And our first profit target is going to be $21, which is the high that I made over here. So if you're somebody that wants to speculate, get involved in this company, this is the ideal price point that you want to be looking for if you want to participate in this SPAQ plays. But unfortunately, these SPAQ plays are seeing a lot of sell-off happening due to some of the negative sentiment that happened with Nikola. A lot of people are getting skeptical about these SPAQ plays, so definitely be careful. Now let's talk about what are the major important economic reports that we need to pay attention to for tomorrow that could potentially affect the stock market. So for tomorrow, Tuesday, October 6th, we got at 8:30 a.m. we got the trade deficit. That's going to be for the month of August. The previous was negative 63.6 billion. Also for 10 a.m. we got the job opening. It's going to be for the month of August. The previous was 6.6 million. So if any of these numbers are slightly higher or lower, that could potentially affect the stock market. And also make sure you have a solid plan before you get involved in any of the companies that we talk about. Make sure you manage your risk. And also if you want to join the Discord chat, support the channel on Patreon, or sign up for Webull, links available in the description box below. I'll catch you guys on tomorrow's video. Let's get it. Have a wonderful day.